Good afternoon, students. So in this video, we'll see the last part of this chapter or this module, that is IT Act 2000. It's a miscellaneous provisions. So in which we are going to see about power of police officer and other officers to enter, search, then act to have overriding effect, controller, deputy controller, assistant controllers to be public servants, power to give directions, protection of action taken in good faith, offences by companies, removal of difficulties, constitution of advisory committee, special provisions for evidence relating to electronic record, admissibility of electronic records, presumption as to electronic record and digital signatures, presumption as to digital signature certificates, and presumption as to electronic messages. So we'll see these points in detail. So first one is power of police officer and other officers to enter, search, etc. Where any person is arrested under subsection 1 by an officer other than a police officer, such officer shall, without unnecessary delay, take or send the person arrested before a magistrate having jurisdiction in the case or before the officer in charge of a police station. Notwithstanding anyone contained in the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973, any police officer not below the rank of a deputy superintendent of police or any other officer of the central government or a state government authorized by the central government in this behalf may enter any public place and search, arrest without warrant any person found therein who is reasonably suspected of having committed or of committing any offense under this act. So the provisions of the Code of Criminal Procedure shall subject to the provisions of this section apply so far as may be in relation to any entry, search or arrest made under this section. So next one is to act to have overriding effect. The provisions of this act shall have effect notwithstanding anyone inconsistent therewith contained in any other law for the time being in force, which is mentioned in the section 81. So next one is the controller, deputy controller and assistant controllers to be public servants. The presiding officer and other officers and employees of a cyber appellate tribunal, the controller, the deputy controller and the assistant controllers shall be deemed to be public servants within the meaning of section 21 of the Indian Penal Code, which is mentioned in a section 82. Power to give directions. The central government may give directions to any state government as to the carrying into execution in the state of any of the provisions of this act or of any rule, regulations or order made thereunder, which is mentioned in the section 83. Next, protection of action taken in good faith. No suit, prosecution or other legal proceeding shall lie against the central government, the state government, the controller or any person acting on behalf of him, the presiding officer, adjudicating officer and the staff of the cyber appellate tribunal for anything which is in good faith done or intended to be done in pursuance of this act or any rule, regulation or order made thereunder, which is mentioned in a section 84. Then offenses by companies. Where a person committing a contravention of any of the provisions of this act or any rule, direction or order made thereunder is the company, every person who at the time the contravention was committed was in charge of and was responsible to the company for the conduct of business of the company, as well as the company shall be guilty of the contravention and shall be liable to be proceeded against and punished accordingly, provided that nothing contained in this subsection shall render any such person liable to punishment if he proves that the contravention took place without his knowledge or that he exercised all due diligence to prevent such controversies or contraventions. The next one is a removal of difficulty. So here, in the previous one, so company means any corporate body and includes a firm or other association of individuals, and the director in a relation to a firm refers to a partner in the firm, which is mentioned in a section 85. Next one is a removal of difficulties. If any difficulty arises in giving effect to the provisions of this act, the central government may, by order published in the official gazette, make such provisions not inconsistent with the provisions of this act as appear to it to be necessary or expedient for removing the difficulty. Every order made under this section shall be laid as soon as possible after it is made before each House of Parliament, provided that no order shall be made under this section after the expiry of a period of 2 years from the commencement of this act, which is mentioned in the section 86. So next one is the constitution of advisory committee. The central government shall, as soon as may be after the commencement of this act, constitute a committee called the Cyber Regulations Advisory Committee. The Cyber Regulation Advisory Committee shall consist of a chairperson and such number of other official and non-official members representing the interests principally affected or having special knowledge of the subject matters as the central government may deem fit. The Cyber Regulation Advisory Committee shall advise the central government either generally as regards any rules or any other purposes connected with this act. It can also advise the controller in framing the regulations under this act. There shall be paid to the non-official members of such committee such travelling and other allowances as the central government may fix. Excuse me. So next one is a special provision for evidence relating to electronic record. The content of electronic records may be proved in accordance with the provisions of section 65B. Next one is the admissibility of electronic records. Any information contained in an electronic record which is printed on a paper, stored, recorded, or copied in optical or magnetic media produced by a computer shall be deemed to be also a document if the conditions mentioned in this section are satisfied in relation to the information and computer in question shall be admissible in any proceedings without further proof or production of the original as evidence of any content of the originals or of any fact stated therein of which direct evidence would be admissible, which is mentioned in a section 65B. Then presumption as to electronic records and digital signatures. If any proceedings involving a secure electronic record, the court shall presume, unless contrary is proved, that the secure electronic record has not been altered since the specific point of time to which the secure status relates. In any proceedings involving secure digital signature, the court shall presume, unless the contrary is proved, that the secure digital signature is affixed by the subscriber with the intention of signing or approving the electronic record, except in the case of a secure electronic record or secure digital signature. Nothing in this section shall create any presumption relating to the authenticity and integrity of the electronic record or any digital signature, which is mentioned in a section 85B. Then presumption as to digital signature certificates. The court shall presume, unless contrary is proved, that the information listed in a digital signature certificate is correct, except for information specified as subscriber information, which has not been verified if the certificate was accepted by the subscriber, which is mentioned in the section 85C. Then presumption as to electronic messages. The court may presume that an electronic message forwarded by the originator through an electronic mail server to the addressee to whom the message purports to be addressed corresponds with the message as fed into his computer for transmission, but the court shall not make any presumption as to the person by whom such message was sent. So for this purpose, the expressions addressee and originator shall have the same meaning, respectively assigned to them in clause B of subsection 1 of section 2 of the Information Technology Act 2000. So this is what the points regarding the miscellaneous provisions which are mentioned in the Information Technology Act 2000.